Now we're going to kick off, as you would expect, with day one, and it is the first race at 1:30 on Tuesday. Hopefully, if everybody could please touch a bit of wood, hopefully the 2020 Cheltenham Festival will go ahead, and the first race is the Supreme Novice Hurdle. And at the moment, with BetVictor, Envoy Alen, who's unlikely to run, but it is non-runner no bet, is the 2-1 favourite. Shishkin is 9-4. Asterior Forlange is 4-1. Abracadabra is 9-2. Fiddler on the Roof 6-1, Chantry House 8-1, Sporting John 8-1, Captain Guinness 12-1, and Edward Stone 14-1. Mikey Fogarty, we're going to start with you here because it's an intriguing Supreme Novice Hurdle. Obviously, Willie. Was that you?
No, it wasn't me.
It's an intriguing Supreme Novice Hurdle. Obviously, Willie Mullins, as ever, holds the key to the race. He's got Asterior Forlange. What are your thoughts?
What are we on the Supreme Novice? I tipped last night. I rode him in Thurles on heavy ground in a school and bumper in, I'd say, November, December, and I just think he'll go for this race. He'll definitely stay. He'll go on any ground, a little bit like Champagne Fever, and at 4-1, he'll give you a bit of a run for your money at the back of the last.
Is he slow?
Not quick and not slow, and maybe you don't need a quick horse, bar it's a special one to win a Supreme Novice. So, look, what is Abracadabra's probably a bit quicker. Siskin looks a bit more pace, but I'm just going to stick with him because I feel he's straightforward ride. He can sit third or fourth. He's not going to be keen. He can make the running, and he's tough, and he'll get to the top of the hill. Whether he'll win it, I don't know, but he'll definitely be one that's, whatever beats him, I think, will win it.
Dave, you ride out in Willie's a couple of mornings a week. Have you ever sat on Asterior Forlange?
No, not since I've got the father anytime recent anyway. I didn't know his name at the time. I'd be with Mikey, but I think he'd have a better chance in the Ballymore, even though he's looking like he's going to run in this race. And, the owners are very lucky. They've got a massive bunch of novices. They've Shishkin, Asterior Forlange, and the big getaway. No, I thought if they split the three of them up, that'd be nearly a Cheltenham treble if you wanted. But that's not seeming to be the way they're going to go. And I think I'd stick with Abracadabra. I think you do need a bit of speed. Gordon Elliott has obviously left him fresh for the race, and that's the way I'd be going. He wanted with a speedy horse in Lebac, whatever. But I think he's going, yeah. Okay,
so it's Abracadabras for David Mullins. Don, Shishkin is a horse that looks like he has loads of speed. Were you impressed at Huntington?
I thought he did it well, all right, but I don't think it was a great race. I think the horse that finished second underperformed, and look, you could have called him as the winner from a long way out, and he's a high-profile horse. As David says, he's got the Gold Cup winning colours as well. But no, he was high profile and fashionable before the Huntington race, and he just confirmed it, and they tightened him up again. I just think he's very short for what he's done. As opposed to Asterior Forlange, like what he did the last day, he was up on the outside of easy work. He jumped to his right a little bit, not as bad as he had been at Naas, but he still jumped a wee bit to his right, give away a little bit of ground, and still coming around the home turn. Like the engine that he showed to pick up and go on around the home turn at Leopardstown, that was really impressive. And I was, like David, I was thinking Ballymore over 2.5, that'd be his race. I think Willie Mullins thought he was a 3-miler. But it's significant that they're running him, or it looks like they're going to run him here now instead of the Ballymore, because, like the big getaway, looks like he's the Ballymore horse for both the Donnellys and for Willie Mullins. And then Asterior Forlange, do you drop him down and trip and take on Shishkin? But it was similar to Champagne Fever a few years ago. He looked like a 2.5 miler and he dropped down and won the Supreme. So, and especially if the ground comes up soft. Abracadabra is a very pacey horse. I'd be a bit worried about him on soft ground. And I wouldn't forget about Captain Guinness, even though the form of his Andy Dufresne run is not working out as well as you would have hoped. He was very keen that day. If he settles a wee bit better, he could go a bit better. But I think just in your guts, Asterior Forlange, he has it all. He has the engine and he's robust, and he'll probably improve again. That was only his third run over hurdles the last day. So yeah, I think he's the one they have to beat. Okay, so Don is an Asterian fan. Diarmuid, it looks like it's a decent renewal of the Supreme. There's obviously no absolute superstar so far that we know of. 9-4 Shishkin, do you think that's too short?
No, I think you have to take that on all day long. I mean, Nicky Henderson now has had, 32 runners in the last 20 years in this race. And he's had one winner.
Somebody's done his homework.
And, you know, like, as in, he's had one winner in the Ballymore from 17 runners and one winner in the Albert Bartlett from 17 runners. And, like, the simplicity of it is that Nicky Henderson leaves his novices with plenty to improve upon as they go on. He's a superb trainer. Obviously, he's one of the best there's ever been. But his novice hurdlers aren't trained for races like this. They're trained long term. So Shishkin, like Sprinter Sacker was beaten in this race. You know, there's an awful lot of very good horses. The only 3 novices that he's had win at the Cheltenham Festival novice hurdlers in the last 20 years, you're talking Altior, you're talking Simon Sig, and Boswell. 3 machines. So at 9-4, you're backing whether Shishkin could be a machine or not, really, in my opinion. Because so many good novices from that yard haven't managed to win at the Cheltenham Festival. So at 9-4, I think you have to be a very forgiving punter to kind of forgive Nicky Henderson for not training his horses the way that maybe other trainers here do. He trains them long term. You know, he's a terrific trainer, obviously. But I'd agree with Don. I think the 2 I've landed on are the 2 that have been mentioned so far. I think it's between Abacadabras and Assyrian Phalange. I can't have the English horses, really. And Abacadabras, for me, he's unbelievably quick. But I think the soft ground, which we are going to have now, really, is going to blunt him. So I think just by the process of elimination, Assyrian Phalange, it's the wrong price for him to be double what Shishkin is, and I think he is the better.
Okay, interesting. Very good stats, Diarmuid. Very impressed. Well done. It's a good start to the
That's
night.
it now for the night, isn't it?
Good start tonight, putting the rest of the panel to absolute shame with your stats. Dean.
Yeah.
Obviously, Diarmuid has spoken about Nicky Henderson's poor record with novices. But is there a chance that this could be an exceptional horse?
Yeah, obviously there's a chance, and they've been very, very keen on this horse for a while. He's only justified what they've been saying about this animal on the racetrack. You have to take it on at the price, though. I don't think anyone wants to be betting 9-4 in a Supreme Novice. And the stats with how he's performed with his previous ones, a freak in Altior managed to win a Supreme, but that is a freak of a horse. So if we got one here, I'm not sure. Remember, Altior wasn't even favourite that year. I think Min was the favourite in that Supreme. And that was based on, I think, Nicky not having such a great record in that race. I think that all played a part in it. I think everyone's underestimating the English horse, which is Fiddler on the Roof. And if they get soft ground there, which looks likely right now, it can change a lot very quickly at Cheltenham. But if they do get the soft ground, he's an animal that's just going to devour the hill. What he did in the Tolworth has been crabbed because Jeremy's Flame, you know, not the highest rated animal. Gavin Cromwell's mare, but she's lovely. And she was a distance back. And they rode her, I thought, to get place money in that race, and which they got, which they wanted, a bit of black tie, which was a great run. But Fiddle on the Roof has just turned inside out in the last couple of runs. I thought 6-1 was a fascinating animal for the race. When Abracadabras, if you watch back the bumper last year, I didn't think it went through with his effort. It was a bit green in the contest, to be honest. But obviously that will be out of the horse now. But I don't think the stride is one that's going to lend itself to coming up the hill. It's a very quick horse. Asterian Phalange, I'm not a big fan of Easy Game or Mount Leinster, who beat the last time. I just dismissed them. Could be anything. It's interesting to hear the 2 lads talk about him not like he's a superstar, and I thought they might be waxing lyrical about him. So I'm even more confident that Fiddle on the Roof is the bet in the race. Captain Guinness is interesting, could certainly improve, and at least it's one you take on a price. Sport and John won't go. Fiddle on the Roof is definitely my bet for the race.
Okay, Fiddler on the Roof for Dean. Sam, obviously the Supreme, it's a huge race for bookies. It sets the tone for the week. How short might Shishkin go off here?
I think you're as short as you're probably going to go. He's actually in our top 5 worst results. Wow. We laid a bit at 25s. The horse that he beat at Ben Pauling's was quite highly regarded. He drifted that day at Newbury. He'd unseated the time before that, and he won in the style of a really nice horse. And Nicky Henderson afterwards at Huntingdon, just the smile he gave, you don't see that too often from him. The horse himself looks like he'd be a fantastic chaser. That's the only thing I would say. I do think he's a typical Nicky Henderson long-term project. And anything he does this year was a bit of a bonus for an awful cliche. But yeah, 9-4 at the moment. I don't think he's going to go much shorter. I think he might even get a little bit bigger on the day. Opposition-wise, I'd love to have seen Sporting John go here. I'm a little bit disappointed they've not taken this option. I think he'd be really well suited to a Supreme, but they'll know a lot more than me.
Okay, so across the line then, who wins the Supreme Novice Hurdle? Donn McClean?
On soft ground, Assyrian Phalange, and better ground, Abacadabras.
Mikey?
The same, yeah. Asterian Phalange, yeah.
Dave?
Abacadabras.
Diarmuid?
The exact same as Don. Soft ground, Asterian, anything better. Abacadabras.
Sam?
Shishkin.
And Dean?
Yeah, soft ground, hopefully Fiddler on the Roof will win.